Alright, here I am, taking my first welding class ever.
I could have used a little more cowbell.
Her name is Alex. She works in a man's world.
Did I take the welding workshop after watching the 1983 movie Flashdance? Watch to the end of the video to find out why I took the workshop. While watching some random YouTube videos the other day, I came across this channel, GQ UK Travel, and this male model went all the way to Japan to interview the very, very famous designer Oki Sato.
One of the projects that I worked on quite recently was a zipper. We came up with 5 different zippers, crossing, or a zipper that you can open and close 3 different fabrics. There's so many space for new ideas, or even these simple and everyday objects. Making things better is design.
After watching the video about Oki Sato and his designs, I swear it must have planted the seed or ignited the catalyst, because an hour later, here I was online searching for beginning welding classes here in Los Angeles. And up popped Molten Metal Works in Glendale. I viewed their website online, and not a week later, they were offering a welding sampler workshop in Glendale. With LA traffic, I drove to Glendale an hour early and walked around the block. I saw some beautiful birds of paradise. And then with 10 minutes to the start of the class, I walked into the building and I was greeted by Matt, the instructor for the next 3 hours. A young married couple were also in attendance, along with another gentleman, kind of like me, wanting to learn something new. Though it looked like he had prior experience when he told me that he took a welding class at Venice High School some 30 years ago. This is not a comprehensive class. The description, it says it's a welding sampler class. I went with 0 expectations and did 0 research. I just wanted to go to class with an open mind, ample curiosity, and no preconceived notion of what welding is all about. I was a blank canvas, if you will. My mindset going in was, everything is icing. Unfortunately, I didn't take much video because this is a 3-hour hands-on class. One of the first equipments we used was the plasma cutter. The plasma cutter exceeds 45,000 degrees Fahrenheit, or about 20,000 degrees centigrade. That thing is hot.
That's hot.
It's so hot, the velocity can approach the speed of sound. Even though the light emitted from the welding machines can be blinding, the whole experience opened up my proverbial eyes to so much. For example, I had no idea that the helmet had an auto darkening feature. So when the light is emitted, within a fraction of a second, within 4/10 of a millisecond, the shade in front of your eyes darkens so your eyes are protected. Less than a millisecond is not perceivable to the human eye. In this workshop, we got to use a plasma cutter as well as a MIG welder. There's MIG welding and there's TIG welding. MIG stands for metal innate gas and TIG stands for tungsten innate gas. We use the MIG welder. Maybe I didn't read it in the class description, but when I got there, I found out that we were going to make something. And I was so excited because we actually got to take something home with us, and that something was more cowbell. Yes, we made a cowbell. And just to make it my own, I wrote with chalk first, GSG, go Shiggy go, and then I welded GSG onto the side of the cowbell. It's so cool. We made our own custom welded cowbell. Of course, the plates that constitute the cowbell were already pre-cut. However, welding means, according to the dictionary, it means to join together metal pieces or parts by heating the surfaces to the point of melting using a blowtorch, electric arc, or other means, and uniting them by pressing hammering. So we got the plates that constitute the sides of the cowbell, and we welded the plates together. So we actually did weld a cowbell.
Go, Shuggy, go!
Thank you, Paris.
I think the reason why I'm taking a welding class, or any class for that matter, is because I'm remembering as a kid how excited I was creating and designing stuff. And now that I'm turning 50 and feeling in a rut and going through depression at times, from now on, I want to have abundant experiences to look forward to and bring joy and excitement back into my life, even if what I do or make is not perfect. And when I'm learning and taking classes, I'm not focused on myself, but on the task at hand. And that is therapeutic and a form of therapy. At least I'm finding joy and happiness doing and creating stuff. Do you ever think of the reasons why you do things? Well, the other day I was thinking of my mother, and she used to tell her friends that I was
Der kleine Erfinder.
the small inventor, the little inventor. I would spend hours and hours and hours playing with Lego, building imaginary worlds of forts and castles, and with my G.I. Joe soldiers and those green army plastic soldiers, often creating scenarios in my head and playing them out with my toys with vivid imagination. I would be captivated by the stories of Tintin, and I would be in such bliss when we traveled from Germany to England, and at Düsseldorf airport my mother would buy me a copy of the Tintin book as a treat. Fast forward to about a month ago, and knowing that my 50th birthday is fast approaching, and knowing that I'm at the halfway point, I want to cross off as many things on the bucket list, on my bucket list, as I can. So with great acceleration and great vigor and great velocity, for the next 52 weeks, as there are 52 weeks in a year, for 50 of those weeks, I want to try, go, and do something different and document and record what I do. And I'm inspired because it's my 50th birthday, and I want to do 50 challenges each week of trying something new, doing something different, and or going somewhere I've never been before. That's what's fun. That's the energy. That's the excitement that I have been longing for a long time in my life that I haven't had. So maybe you guys can commit to a 50 or 52 week challenge of trying something new each week, because it has given me life and vigor, and it's the anti-depression that I have been seeking for a while. Though my birthday is in October, I signed up for the welding sampler workshop in August just to get a little head start. Everything in the workshop was icing, and getting to make something that we actually got to keep and take home, a cowbell, was absolutely
Meow, 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 meow.
the cat's meow.
I gotta have more cowbell.
And what makes people interesting is that people are not perfect. Perfection makes things boring in the end, so I think the next step for technology is how to make them not smart but stupid in the end. Maybe making pleasant mistakes.
At first I was kind of embarrassed about my welding, and my teacher said, "Dude, this is your first class. If you want a cookie cutter design, go to IKEA." So here's to pleasant mistakes. I highly recommend the welding workshops that they have at Molten Metalworks in Glendale. The staff there are super friendly. The classes opened my eyes to a whole new world. In my day-to-day, when I'm out and about, I notice so many different things that have been welded together. Like the other day, I went to the beach and I saw the railing. And I saw it was welded together. Then I walked along and I saw this big dump truck, and I noticed the welding on there too. The other day I got a loud muffler installed onto my Jeep, and I went to the mechanic bay and I saw the guy with his welding torch, and without hesitation I walked as close as possible to the Jeep and did some video filming. And normally I would have been afraid of this torch in my face and sparks flying and everything like that. But with calmness, I walked right up to the mechanic with his permission and did some behind the scenes video footage of him welding the exhaust to the pipes. It was a beautiful thing, and I wasn't scared. And what was really cool is it kind of bonded us together. I became friends with this guy because of the welding class I took. I really feel like this welding class has bonded me, has welded me with so many different people. I didn't realize how much welding is used in day-to-day life. It's used for cars and bicycles and ships and airplanes and plumbing. Now, because I've taken that welding class, I have a common language with so many people. I can talk to contractors about this and that, about pipes, about tubing, and not be afraid or intimidated by that.
What do you do?
I'm retired.
What did you do?
Welder.
Settling, MIG, TIG?
Any of it. If it can be welded, I can weld it.
Cast iron?
Yeah.
I don't mean braze.
I didn't say braze.
Pot metal?
What did I say?
For example, the other day, I met this guy and I told him about the class I took, this welding workshop that I took. And he said, I do fabrication. I said, what's fabrication? And he showed me pictures of his super duper cool handmade car. He welded together a Volkswagen Beetle, a Porsche, a Chevy, and other parts all together to make it a unique car. And that is so inspiring, so creative, and so amazing. So I guess I have to thank different people. I have to thank that Okisato video that I watched on design that inspired me to even take a welding class.
I'm really totally addicted to design. When I start sketching, when I see physical mock-ups, when I see my products in the stores, all these moments are so magical for me. I've been studying architecture for 6 years, and I really didn't understand what design was all about. I visited Milan, the design fair. Like, architects were designing teacups, and interior designers were designing cars, and everyone was very borderless. I felt that this was the place that I wanted to be.
As you can see, I am so excited about my new journey that I'm going to do for my 50th birthday. 50 different challenges that I'm going to upload and post to YouTube. So please follow along with me on my journey. This, for me, is my anti-depression therapy. Trying different things, exploring new things, going to new places, taking on an adventure that I haven't done. And that's really important right now in my life. So please follow along with me on my journey. I'll be uploading my adventures every week on YouTube, so please follow along. So what's next? Horseback riding? Glass blowing classes? Stained glass classes? A soldering class? Follow along with me to find out. What a feeling. Beings believing. I can have it all now that I'm dancing with my life. Take your passion, make it happen.
Subscribe to my YouTube channel.
Remember to like and subscribe. Thanks for the follow.
I love you. Cindy, thank you so much. We'll see you next. Thank you so much.